and welcome to Respect the Crit. I'm your host, Ian Duncan. My pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Sunny Takasi, the ghoul merchant of the wasteland. And joining me this evening, the King in the North! The King in the North! Xavier Trudeau-Deschênes.
It is I, the one and only king. Well, there's 7 of us, but I'm the one that counts. Where were we? I'm Xavier, my pronouns are he, him, and I will be playing Lance Burnett, the Vault Dweller. He's angry, he's sexy, and he's here to study.
You just described my ideal man. Angry, sexy, and here to hit the books. Also joining us, we are lucky to have the Queen in the South, Tampa.
Oh, God. I do not approve of this message. My name is Susan Spenader. I go by she, her. Not very proud of that title. I will be playing Geraldine, aka Gerry, the Nomad, this survivor of the wasteland. Very happy to be here, as always.
And the one to rule them all, the Prince of Darkness himself, Alex Herrera.
Hi, I'm Alex Herrera. My pronouns are he, him. I am the DM for this campaign, the Overseer, El Numero Uno, the Cacho, if you're into Japanese business culture, El Jefe.
Alex, please take us away into the Evergreen.
This wasn't a good feeling, and it only got worse the longer Gerry and her father stood in the clearing, allowing the silence to take over. The trees in Paradise Valley were numerous and tall. The walls of white bark and skinny trunks had become a sign of home for everyone, especially Gerry. Often she would look at the thin tree trunks and imagine the shapes or faraway places she'd visit one day. Today, however, Gerry's mind couldn't wander far. She had been sent home from the lessons by Barty for fighting 2 boys in the class. It didn't matter who started it. It only mattered that Gerry was who got caught, unfortunately. Gerry's father stood motionless, only having his short brown hair move when the slight wind blew through it. His light brown pants had seen better days as they showed signs of having been patched up multiple times. And the road leathers covering his flannel seemed to also be in need of some repair. Trying to break the tension in some way, any way she could, Gerry stared at the ground as she sat on the wooden bench, the red chalky dirt marking up the clearing in a messy circle, only was able to take her attention for a short time before her dad's deep voice broke through the silence first. "You're obviously not going to shoot today, that's for damn sure." Gerry's father, Benjamin, stood in the clearing a few feet away from Gerry as she sat at the bench and picnic table with numerous gun components all laid out across the nearly rotted wooden surface. Benjamin slowly walked toward the bench, shook his head in silence as he did so, and sat down across from Gerry. "You'll be assembling the gun today and learning about the parts." Gerry, you are sitting directly across from your father, Benjamin, looking down at these disassembled components of a pipe gun, which you're pretty familiar with, all neatly situated in different positions. Benjamin your dad is standing there looking at you. "Why'd you fight, Jer, huh? They hurt you in some way? Picking on you or something?"
Gerry hasn't looked at her dad. She's been looking down the entire time. "Because of you. You're leaving. And I'm not coming."
Benjamin leans back, tilts his head. "Leaving? Jared, what the hell are you talking about?"
"You're going out there. I've always wanted to go, you know that. And you've been here so long. You're so soft." And now she's looking at him. You're not prepared. You need me.
Benjamin raises his hand. Oh, whoa, Jer. Then he kind of smiles a little. I need you, huh? Look, if I'm going to go on this expedition, that's a big if. It's not going to happen for some time, all right? So everyone has to vote.
Dad, if you go out there, you're gonna die. You haven't been out there in so long. What do you even know anymore? You're old. You're not prepared.
He kind of leaned back with this big smile. Old. I'm Jer. Oh, that's rich. Come on.
And then Gerry swipes the pipe gun off the pieces off the table. You don't even know how to fucking use this anymore, Dad.
He's gonna stop. Hey! And he stands up. All right, now I've had enough of this, Jer. First things first. You can't just beat up people because they say dumb things. All right? If you end up beating up everyone who said stupid things, one day you're gonna wake up and realize you beat everyone up. Because everybody says dumb things once in a while. He walks over to the gun parts and starts picking them up. And then he realized something. And don't use those kind of words, Jer. Come on.
And then Gerry looks down and she's looking at, I guess, the bench that all that was set on. They said you were gonna die. They said you weren't gonna come back and you weren't prepared. So you need me out there with you. And now she looks back up.
Benjamin will finish picking up all the pieces and he puts them on the table. Okay. Look, if we're up to me, Jer, everybody would be going. You know this. Because that's who we are. We're meant to move. We're meant to go. Find our home out there, different places, and not settle, but live off the land for a little bit. He stops for a second after all the parts are back on the table, and he slowly begins assembling them, almost unconsciously as he looks at Gerry. I see it in you, Jer. And he finishes putting the gun together, and he has this kind of shit-eating grin on his face. You got more of me than I think your mother would have liked. He looks at the gun and looks back at Gerry. If I had a choice, I'd bring you with me. You're a good shot. And, you got a good teacher. He kind of chuckles at this. But he slides the gun forward. I think you need a little more practice first. And then maybe we'll talk about it.
Dad, they also said that you don't want to be around Mom anymore.
Tilts his head a little.
Is that why you're leaving?
No, Jer, come on. I love your mother. You, Lila, and your mom, you're my whole world. If I'm leaving, it's because I want to find us a better place to stay for the entire tribe. And he's gonna reach out, put his hand on her shoulder. I am never gonna get tired of you, of Lila, or your mother. You guys are what's important. Okay?
Okay. All right, Dad.
There you go.
She looks up at her dad. But next time you've got to bring me out there with you.
He laughs. Of course, Jer. Are you kidding me? I need the fastest gun in Paradise Valley at my side, that's for damn sure. As a matter of fact, slides the gun across. Maybe today we let the fastest gun shoot a little bit.
Yeah. And then Gerry lights up, picks up the gun.
Gerry happily begins to clean the gun as her father walks towards a downed tree a couple of feet away from the table. Gerry's attention is completely focused on the gun, cleaning it, making sure it's in its pristine condition. She remembers the lessons from earlier, moving her hands quickly, making sure that the cloth is in the correct position, holding it up, and then waving it to her father to show that she's cleaned it. She holds the largest grin she can muster, but her smile slowly fades and gives way to a face of pure fear. A creature larger than anything Gerry has ever seen now stands in the center of the clearing between her and her father. This creature has patches of black and brown, dirty, mangled fur, with large sections of raw pink flesh splattered across its body and face. It walks on all fours and slowly cranes its head towards Gerry. "Jer, don't move, baby," Benjamin states as he slowly pulls a knife from his boot. The nightmarish creature quickly snaps its head towards Benjamin and lets out a roar that would make the dead awake. It lunges towards Benjamin as he quickly brandishes his knife and continues to shout to keep its attention. "Gerry, run, darling! Get out of here!" Benjamin shouts as loud and hard as he can before the creature pins him against a downed tree behind him. Benjamin slashes, stabs with the knife. The creature swipes at him with all of its fury. The white bark of the downed tree are now stained and colored with a dark red as Benjamin screams and fights back. Gerry takes aim, her hands trembling profusely. This can't be happening. Wake up, Gerry. Every thought in her mind races to make its way to the surface at once, and they all block her from doing what she knows she has to do, what she was trained to do. Bam! The first shot rings out. Gerry fired at the creature and hit it square in the neck. It quickly turns to face her, while its claws and upper body are still pushing Benjamin against the now red, downed tree. Bam, bam. Gerry's body now moved without her direction as she let off 2 more rounds. As the creature begins to turn its full attention towards Gerry, she suddenly feels her body and mind freeze. This creature's eyes were filled with a pale yellow hue. Gerry could feel its intention, its desire to kill. A sudden burst of pain on the creature's back catches its attention. The beast shifts around to look at the source. Benjamin had plunged his knife deep into the upper back of the creature to try and break its attention from Gerry. The creature, without hesitation, begins to rip into the bloodied body of Benjamin mercilessly. Gerry fired the pistol without hesitation now, every shot finding its target. Blood and fur filled the air around the creature, but it still would not stop. Gerry fired and screamed and unloaded the entire clip into the creature. It still didn't stop. Blood pooled outwards from the downed tree, and Gerry continued to pull the trigger. The empty click rings louder than Gerry's cries. The beast snarls, growls. Bones can be heard snapping and flesh giving way. These sounds all fused into nothing as Gerry stood there continuing to squeeze the trigger. Even when the camp guards came and pumped the creature full of bullets, Gerry didn't stop. Even when they picked her up and tried to carry her away, Gerry didn't stop. Later, when they put her dead in the ground, Gerry promised him she wouldn't stop. We find our heroes, or at least Gerry first, opening her eyes and seeing nothing, just dark. But everything is moving, except her hands are tied above her head, attached to something. She feels a wall behind her, and after a few seconds her eyes begin to adjust and she can see the silhouettes of at least 5 other individuals tied up in a similar manner, 3 across from her, and 1 on her left and 1 on her right. I would say Sonny wakes up at this point feeling the same thing, hands tied above his head, attached to something. Lance, third, wakes up. This room that you're in is moving. Not violently, but steadily. Your eyes have all now adjusted to the scene, and you can make out 2 large silhouettes tied up similar to you, or what you assume is tied up, and a third kind of half the size of everybody else. Almost to Gerry, it looks like someone around her size. You hear the sound of rumbling all around you. You hear the sound of Brahmin, at least two, coming from somewhere. And every now and then you hear laughing outside this room that's moving. You begin to realize you're in some kind of trailer of some kind, or some kind of container that's being moved. Not quickly, but like I mentioned, steadily.
Oh, good. For a minute, I was worried we woke up in Skyrim on that fucking wagon.
Hey, I'm glad you're awake.
I look to see if Lance and Gerry are around, see that they're there, see that they're awake. Sonny tries to talk and finds that comes very strained. It's almost like you really pulled a muscle, or a night of like intense yelling or something. He like goes to speak, but has a hard time finding his voice. It feels creaky and wrong when he speaks, but he tries to choke something out like, "Oh yeah, you got Gerry, Lance, you guys okay?"
Lance is still like heavily under the influence of those sedatives. He's got so many pumped in him that I feel like he's still got this like cloud over his vision. He barely hears Sonny. Like his ears are still buzzing. The movement of the car is very disorienting to him. So you can see it in his face that he's like still drugged. Probably. He tries to acknowledge like Sonny, but he's having a hard time, and he doesn't say anything.
Lance, look at me. Lance, look at me.
Lance like tries with all of his power to focus on Sonny's voice, and tries to open his eyes and kind of narrow them to clearly see him, and then realizes everybody's in the same predicament. Everybody's tied up the same way, and there are strangers across from them, to which he sort of widened his eyes more, and you can see panic in his eyes.
As this happens, a woman's voice from across you guys speaking up. Hey, don't move too much. They're gonna stop, and then they're gonna put more in us, so just relax.
Gerry initially, after coming out of this, she had a very horrible dream of a memory that she did not want to think of ever again. She comes out of that and just realizes that she's constrained, and then tries to get out of it, as she doesn't want to be held down by anything right now. But maybe that voice gets her back in the moment.
So in Gerry's panic, she realized all of your hands are above you. So imagine being handcuffed to like a pole or something, but both hands are handcuffed with another one putting you on the pole. It's not handcuff, more of some sort of iron bracers. The woman speaks up again. You on the end. Are you awake?
Yeah.
I saw your clothes before they brought you in here. You're from a vault, right?
Yeah, that's right. Where are we?
A gruffer voice interrupts. We're getting taken to the crow's nest. It's the gentleman in between the woman and the smaller figure now. You can make out a little bit. He looks like a pretty heavyset dude. One of his legs is bent the wrong way. Like you can see his body, he's kind of moving around a little, but the leg that's bent the wrong way is not moving.
Lance sort of shuffles to try to stand straighter, if that's possible for him, and he'll really trying to shake all of this off. He'll just say, "Names. What's everybody's names?"
Sonny, Takasi.
This is Sonny, everybody, and this is Gerry. And he doesn't point. Sorry, I was just pointing. He doesn't point.
Yeah, that's fine. No. I would say he
slips
uses
his hand out of the handcuff.
Hey, by the way,
puts it back.
this way.
If we're gonna try to get out of this, I need to know everybody's names.
You hear the older man kind of chuckle a little bit. The woman looks at him, then looks back. I'm Cassie. The old man speaks up. Emmett. The other smaller figure, you realize now, is crying. And then he kind of... Bear. My name's Bear.
Cassie, Emmett, Bear, I'm Lance. Emmett, how long has your leg been like this?
About 3 days since they got me.
Alright. Try not to stand on it.
Oh, yeah, it won't be a problem there, Chief.
He tries to muster a smirk.
Emmett is gonna look at Sonny. Oh, boy, you're not gonna last long, are you? A ghoul in raider custody? Crows, nonetheless. Whew. I'm surprised they didn't just, skin you right there.
I'm the best thing that's happened to them. They're gonna love me.
He looks at Gerry. Well, no, actually, and he moves his head. This one and this one, and he moves his head towards Cassie, are probably the best thing that's gonna happen to them. And he looks at Gerry. Even in the dark, he can kind of see your face. I've seen what they do. It's not good. And Cassie looks at him. No. You see her, kind of mouth. No. Take a deep breath in and breathe out.
Gerry has a switchblade concealed on her. Is that still there?
Let me see.
And a fidget spinner.
Yes.
No, that's gone. That fidget spinner, that's gone. There's a raider outside, oh, fuck.
Oh no!
He's fucking spinning it. So I'm going to roll for the raider's ability to search your objects. That's a 1. The raider got the crit. If you give me a free complication for this scene, I will let one of you keep your concealed weapons.
I know what the complication is.
Is it a yes?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds like a yes. Okay, Xavier, what is your idea for this complication, please?
When Emmett says, looking at Gerry and Cassie, that they are probably going to be the best thing that's happened to the Raiders, Lance's eyebrows start furrowing again, and he clenches his teeth again, and he sort of tries to yank on the clutches, on the bracers or whatever, and it makes noise. He hits his elbow on the side of the truck. It goes bang.
This sound ricochets through the container, through the trailer truck. I love it. Thank you, Xavier.
You're welcome.
Right as Lance, his elbows knock the container, Gerry, Sonny, and the others kind of do a little jump because of the force. The container, the trailer truck, stops. It slows to a stop. You hear some shouting from outside, and to everyone's left, these 2 doors swing open, revealing the Evergreen at night. Some neighborhood street somewhere. None of you are familiar with this area. 2 men in haphazardly put together armor of some kind, who obviously you recognize them as raiders, come into the container and look around. You now see more clearly than you did before the raiders, their faces. They have white paint of some kind smeared all over their face, with their eyelids and around the upper and lower eyelids covered in black paint, almost highlighting their eyes, giving them all this kind of uniform look. If you're a fan of the film The Crow by Brandon Lee, this raider group are big fans of a deceased celebrity who exists across dimensions and time in both our universe and the Fallout universe.
Nexus event.
Yeah.
The
Glad-
Crow,
I'm
the
glad
movie,
Brandon,
Nexus event.
Yeah, totally.
They both look at everybody. They begin walking through, their footsteps kind of, ringing through the container's metal floor, clanking, till they reach Sonny. One of them kind of reaches out with a metal pipe and puts it underneath his chin and lifts it up. Oh ho! Hey, look! It's that ghoul who used to rip us off!
Hey, I gave you a fair deal. I give everyone a fair deal.
Fair usually means we take what we want, right? The other one's puts his hand on his hand, grabs his hand. No. We're not supposed to touch him, Draven said. It's for later. Okay.
Yeah, you heard Draven.
They both look down at him, at Sonny as he says this. Just once. Hey, it's not my ass if he shows up with bruises. And he kind of continues walking down. He's gonna pretend to swing, and would Sonny flinch or would he just hold steady?
Oh yeah, Sonny would flinch for sure.
So as he sees Sonny flinch, he'll just like ha, 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 and continue walking. They get to Lance. This guy, this the one, made all the noise, took all the darts. And he nods his head. Yeah, this is the one. Hey, and he kneels down to look at Lance, the one with the metal pipe. Kneels down. You need to calm the fuck down. And he like looks at him right in his face, waiting a response.
Lance tries to bring his face closer to the dude a little bit to reply. You pieces of shit have it coming.
This guy is pretty fucking scary. I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, and then he just kind of like pull shots your chest with the lead pipes. Poof! One quick one. It pushes the air out of you. Just in your weakened state or your half drug induced state, still kind of coming out of it. You can feel it. It's like all the painkillers in your body have worn off, but your head is still in the clouds, so you feel it a little more intensely than normal. And as your head is kind of lowered a little and trying to catch your breath, you hear them laughing. Hey, stop making noise or we'll feed one of you to the animals out here. And they both get out of the cart and close the door.
Quick question for Mr. Overseer. And I think you alluded to it last session, but I recognize those crow cosplayers from a previous encounter, right? Are they the same people?
You wouldn't be able to identify if these are the same ones.
But I mean same gang.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so like that's kind of what he was hoping to do when they came closer. He just made sure that they were the same people.
Oh, okay. I like it. I love it. That's great. Bear starts kind of... You should have kicked him in the nuts.
I'm still pretty drugged up.
Yeah, when they brought you in, we saw all the darts on you. Emmett turns to the kid. Holy shit. That's the most this kid said in the last 48 hours. Well, I mean, it's nice to hear a new voice, considering we'll probably be dead in the next couple of hours anyways. Again, Cassie looks at him, lets out a sigh. One of you mentioned something about trying to escape.
I also have a question for the overseer, Mr. Alex
Yes.
Herrera.
You may speak, yes.
Are these like old school handcuffs or?
Gerry looks up. They look old, whatever it is. It doesn't really look like handcuffs. They're more rectangular with some like sharp edges.
Okay.
So it's some kind of restraints, some sort of restraints, but not like police issued handcuffs or pre-war police handcuffs.
I know it'd probably be difficult, but can she try slipping out of them? Because if you put your thumb in and your pinky in, you could slip out of handcuffs. So.
Agility, survival, DC of 3.
Oh, I can't do it.
Hey, you can always buy an action point and give me one.
Maybe not this early. I got that switchblade, and I'll go with that for now.
Okay. So describe to me, where would she have hidden it on her person? Because they did take all your shit.
Well, Gerry is also wearing like layers upon layers, so maybe they took off like the first layer, thinking, okay, we got everything.
Yeah,
the pipe gun.
She's clean, yeah.
And then she had that 10mm that she just got, so they're like, okay, that's probably all she has. And then the switchblade is actually like underneath like all like 3 layers of clothing, like right on her forearm, like strapped there, so she could like fling it out when she needs it.
I love it. That's fucking incredible. There's like a little Assassin's Creed like strap. It's not the device, but it's just kept there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So it's
fucking
easily
awesome.
accessible to her, but no one else.
And I would say as she's analyzing her handcuff, she feels like, hey, my blade is still there. Like that's when she realizes I have it. So yeah, Cassie is still kind of looking at the group. Yeah, you mentioned trying to escape, right? You have a plan?
Do you know where they're taking us?
Emmett speaks up. Yeah, sorry. I said Crow's Nest. It's a pre-war museum in a park. There's a water tower there that they use as a lookout. Then there's a graveyard. That's kind of where they like to hang out sometimes and do their little ceremonies and stuff.
Ceremonies.
It's like initiation when they find big, beefy guys. And he looks at Lance. They make him get initiated or kill him. There's not really much of a choice, you know. I've only run into the crows once before. It wasn't this difficult. Time, you see. Age. Kind of gets to the best of us. Or, he looks at his leg, a sledgehammer.
Who's Draven?
That's the boss. Real cold, calculated sociopath. I've seen worse, but not like him. He's a little special. You hear Bear kind of like move a little. When he hears the name Draven, he kind of shifts.
How close is he to us? Like,
The order is Gerry, closest to the door, right? Sunny, and then Lance on one side. So Lance is closest to the driver's side of the containers, or the trailer truck. Across from Lance is Bear. Across from Sunny is Emmett. And across from Gerry is Cassie.
Know why they'd want us unharmed?
Yeah, we're worth more unharmed.
So we're merchandise.
He nods.
That's something I can work with.
He kind of tilts his head. What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know yet. I'll tell you when I figure it out.
He looks at Bear and shakes his head. You think someone from the wood would know how to get out of this, huh? Useless. Bear looks at him timidly and just goes back to facing the opposite direction.
So how did you three get caught? What's the story here?
Cassie will speak up first. I'm a scav. I look for things and I sell them. I was with my group, just on the cusp of Brotherhood territories, and you know, we kind of were looking out for them more so than raiders. We didn't think they'd get that close, and we found this school. You know how rare it is to find an untouched classroom? We thought we hit a gold mine, and the bullets started flying. I got a desk, flipped it over, fired back, and within a couple minutes I realized I was the only one firing back. And then I saw them with those painted faces. I'm the only one left. My friends are dead. And if I get out of here, I'm burning all those motherfuckers to the ground. Emmett looks at her, then back to you three. Not much of a story to tell. I'm a freelance agent these days. Kind of work for whoever pays me the most. And I just had a bad break on a case. And he looks at his leg. Fucking sledgehammer, man. Bear just looks away. I'm not from here. I shouldn't have left. Should have listened to my brother. And he doesn't say anything else. The container keeps moving.
I turn to Lance and Gerry, and I say,
Okay, just hang tight. We're gonna need all our strength to get out of this. See what we can do when we get there, get a lay of the land, but we're gonna need our energy. Especially you, buddy.
and I just sort of like tap Lance's foot with my foot.
Yeah, sure. I'll just nap. Wake me up when we get there.
We'll get out of this. We'll get out of this. It's gonna be okay.
Hello, survivors, vault dwellers, and denizens of the wastes. Thank you for joining me in the mid-roll. We've got a lot of things to cover, so I'm going to try and get through it all as quickly as I can to get you back to the episode. But stick with me here, because you are going to want to hear all of it. We've got some really cool news. Let's get into it. Firstly, we have an advertisement. Yes, that's right. You can advertise on our show, believe it or not. This announcement is for GoatCon. What is GoatCon, I hear you asking? Well, it stands for Go Around the Table, and GoatCon is a live-streamed tabletop RPG convention and charity event that will be held on November 5th through the 7th, 2021. So if you're listening to this when the episode comes out, that's coming up. GoatCon will be a weekend of live streaming tabletop games featuring several popular systems, so something for everyone. The games will be streamed all weekend long on twitch.tv/GoatCon. In addition to running games and streaming live actual plays, GoatCon is also going to be raffling out a ton of cool prizes, including swag generously provided by such RPG companies that you might recognize: Wormwood, Easy Roller Dice, Die Hard Dice, Lindorm Dice, Goodman Games, Elderwood Academy, Fantasy Grounds, Roll20, Foundry, and D&D Beyond, including a legendary bundle with all D&D books published by Wizards of the Coast. Also among some of the prizes you could win are a Beetle and Grimm's Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, or work with the artisans at Encounter Dice to design your own custom set of dice. You could also win a place in the GoatCon finale game featuring Xavier Trudeau-Deschênes and Susan Spenader from our Fallout campaign here on Respect the Crit, the DM of the Dungeons and Randomness podcast, who you might know, Jason Massey, and also myself. Yes, I'll be playing in the finale game that you can watch live and enter to win to play along with all of us. The raffles will end and be awarded on November 7th, and all proceeds are going to help sick kids through the Extra Life Foundation and the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So go to their website, goatcon.org, for more information. You could sign up to play in the various games, enter to win raffles, and find out about scheduling. Check out goatcon.org, and remember to tune in at twitch.tv/goatcon. Those links and URLs will be in the notes of this episode, so look for them there. This convention is put on by some really great people, many of whom are listeners and supporters of this show. I was really honored to be a part of this convention last time, and they are already breaking their fundraising goals from last year. It's for a good cause, so please go check them out, sign up to play in a game, watch us goof off on Twitch, and contribute to a great cause this year at GoatCon. If you are interested in advertising with us or giving a shout out, feel free to contact us at respectthecrit@gmail.com for rates and details. Okay, we've got some other great news. A little gift to all of our listeners and fans of the show. Our friends at Modiphius have generously given us a discount code to use on Fallout RPG stuff. Right now, you can get 10% off any Fallout RPG stuff if you use our discount code. To use it, all you have to do is go to modiphius.net, or if you live in the US, modiphius.us if you want better US shipping rates. And at your checkout, use the code RTC10, that's RTC10, to get 10% off Fallout 2D20 RPG stuff. So go get your rule book, your Game Master kit, some Nuka-Cola bottle caps, and remember RTC10 at checkout to get that 10% off. This is a thank you to our listeners for listening to us, for your feedback. So go ahead, get your Fallout RPG stuff, and get that 10% off. Okay, moving right along onto our giveaway winner. Thank you again to everyone who entered. The lucky winner of our Episode 6 giveaway, who will be receiving a physical copy of the Fallout Core Rulebook, please join me in congratulating Joel! Joel is a Swedish listener and perhaps the sole reason we have so many listeners in Sweden. Thank you, Joel, for spreading the word. Joel is active in our Discord and on our Twitter, always super cool, always great to interact with. He's entered every one of our giveaways, and so I'm so happy that he's going to be taking home this amazing book. He left us this review on Apple Podcasts. Amazing! These wonderful people are creating one of the most fantastic podcasts out there. It's almost like hearing a movie, beginning with the camera panning down, and then continuing with action and excitement that Ian, Jamie, and Alex create together. A super high quality podcast I recommend to all and everyone who would ask me what to listen to. P.S. The first Fallout episode made me reinstall Fallout 4. Thank you so much, Joel, for listening. Thank you for your incredible review and for entering our giveaways. I'm so glad that we got you hooked on this podcast and excited for Fallout stuff. You'll be getting an email from me and also from Modiphius, so look out for that so you can claim your physical copy of the Fallout Core rulebook. I hope you get a chance to play and run a game in this system. I would love to hear a Fallout story set in Sweden. Okay, on to our next giveaway, and we're almost done. We've got another digital copy of this incredible RPG for you to win on our next episode. Just like always, I'm going to run it down real quick. No purchase necessary. We've posted a sweep widget link on our socials, in our Discord, and in the description of this episode. Follow that link to submit your email and follow the instructions on how to enter to win. You know what to do by now. You just have to log in and complete 2 entries in order to be qualified. First, visit our custom URL, modiphius.net/respectthecrit. And now you're armed with a discount code. So go to that link and get some Fallout RPG stuff. And the second thing to qualify, go to Apple Podcasts, make sure you follow Respect the Crit, leave a 5-star rating and review, screen cap or take a picture of that review and upload it to the Sweep Widget giveaway link we posted. If you win, we'll read your review on our episode, just like we did with Joel's. And yes, if you've already left a review, screen cap it and upload it. If you haven't won a giveaway yet, please feel free to enter again. Whew, we did it. We got to the end. That was a lot. Thank you for sticking with it, those that did. Occasionally we have a lot to talk about, and yeah, at least this time it was all great news. Anyway, looking forward to hearing what you think about the episode or any of our campaigns or stories that we've done, and wishing you all the luck to win our giveaway. Thank you so much to Modiphius Entertainment, and thank you for listening, for downloading, and for leaving us your feedback. And now, let's get back to the Evergreen.
Time moves extra slow in the container. You all have a large amount of time to think about the things that have happened to you, whether you like it or not. Sunny's thoughts linger on Dee Dee, and hopefully that the Ubedas are taking good care of her. Lance and his half-drug-induced state still fighting back the effects of sedatives mixed with an extreme version of an upper. Can't really focus on much. His thoughts cycle through almost like a preset Rolodex of memories, most of which center around his home, Vault 6, his mom, his dad, his friends, and then Brock. And the cycle repeats over and over again. Gerry's mind focuses on the nightmare she had, the gun, the colors scattered across that clearing, the eventual loss of sound experienced from her firing the gun so many times that she ruptured both her eardrums. And then it goes to the funeral. Her father, or what was left of him, being lowered into the ground. The sadness that waved over everyone. And for some reason, she focuses on the emotions she felt when making the decision to leave. And when she thinks about this, it's as if her mind gives her some sort of thread to follow. Her mind thinks of this and she looks immediately at Bear and what he said. Even with so few words, the tone in which he stated it seemed very familiar. I shouldn't have left. Gerry focuses in the dark on this young man. So this will continue for a good,
4 sessions.
No, definitely not.
Gerry, at some point, just to break the cycle of her thoughts and then feeling that switchblade on her forearm, who has stuff on them?
just got my sunny disposition.
Cassie looks at you directly. No, they took all my stuff. Emmett shakes his head. Well, if I had something, I definitely would have stabbed one of those motherfuckers in the eye. But nah, I'm clean. Bear slowly turns to face you, and there's this look of, like, mutual understanding. Bear has something.
Gerry will just do one nod and then go back to just looking out the back of or just looking at the door, the back of the container.
Do I sense some sparks?
How old is Bear? Wasn't he described as a child?
No. He's half the size of Emmett and a little bit shorter than Cassie.
Oh, but they're like the same size. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I mean, how tall is Gerry?
5'1".
He's about the same height.
Oh, okay. Very compatible.
Great.
Yeah, because it's always about height.
Yes.
For a second, because it's just a mystery adventure. The moment you said, like, I should listen to my brother, I'm like, he has a brother? Is that Marcos? Did we find Marcos? He's got a brother?
My Marcos? Okay. So we're not doing anything else, right?
If I may...
Please.
There's a point when, a few moments after Gerry asked everybody if they had something on them, Lance didn't think about it, but he looks at his left arm and looks if his bit boy is still there. The one anchor he has to the vault.
It looks like they were trying to remove it and they could not. You still have your Pip-Boy.
Okay. There's no way I can access it from this position, from how my hands are tied.
You could. I'd say you could. But you can't see what you're doing.
No, okay. Yeah, it's not really worth it.
So it'd be like navigating a device without seeing it.
Yeah,
it's
I
possible.
mean, if the intent is to read it, if I can't see it, it doesn't. Yeah.
Turn on accessibility mode, obviously. And it'll start talking to you.
Yeah, Alexa, play something real.
Despacito.
Lo-fi hip hop beats.
Main menu. Radio. Did you say radio?
But then his train of thought will kind of like follow up along his arm and then to the restraints, and he'll just try to like test the resistance. And like instead of like giving a big hit, like he'll like drop his weight on it a bit and like try to lower it down or kind of like shimmy it, see if there's any nooks or something. He's gonna spend the rest of the trip like just playing with that in the attempt of like getting it loose.
I love this. The minute Lance puts his weight on it, everybody in the container hears cracking. You don't know what's cracking, but something above something, either the restraints or this metal pipe or this metal bar that's going the length of the container, something is snapping as you're putting your weight on it slowly. Everybody hears this. They all look at Lance.
Whatever you're doing, keep doing that, you big hunk of meat.
Okay, but I might need your help. My reflexes are not up to speed right now. If this thing falls, I need you to catch it.
Gonna get a bite to the head. Boom! All three of you take 5 damage.
I just go, I'll do what I can.
Gerry will look over on it.
I'm not saying I have a plan. I just know that I can break shit, and that's my plan so far.
That's a good plan.
And he'll keep doing it.
Okay, so you are still a little drugged, but not as much as you were earlier. That's good. Let's call this... Yeah, let's just call it strength athletics. You're stress testing this thing.
I don't know how you want to play it because of the drugs, but I'm still under the effects of adrenaline rush, which treats my strength score as 10 for all purposes, attempting a strength-based skill or melee attack, which is as long as my health is below my max value.
DC of 3.
Can I buy an action point?
Sure. Give
I
me
have
another
to.
one. Yeah.
There's no choice. Okay, so 13. I need to roll 3 13s.
You can do this.
Roll it.
Okay.
Can I use a luck point to re-roll that 20?
Yes, go for it.
I mean,
1d20.
Thank you.
You did get it with the crit 1.
That's
He did.
true.
But if you don't want the complication,
Yeah.
I don't want the complication.
How many luck points do you have left, Xavier?
I have 2 left.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-roll this d20
Hey,
for
there we go.
another success. And my it's a tag skill. So the 3 is 2 successes. The 1 is 2 successes. So that's 5 success total.
2 extra points for you, buddy.
Yay!
That's awesome.
The pool has begun.
Okay,
yeah.
So, no complications, thankfully.
the game begins.
Lance just says, shrugs, fuck it. Puts all his weight as if he's sitting on, like, you're trying to sit on an invisible seat, putting all his weight and letting gravity do the work. And sure enough, his restraints break, clear down the center. It's some sort of rectangular restraint device. And as the pieces clatter to the ground, Lance, you're able to get a better view of this now. These are homemade. This is not something pre-war. Somebody has built these raiders, perhaps. And your hands are free.
He massages his wrists for a brief second, and he realizes he's free, and in half a panic looks around. Okay, now what?
Emmett speaks up. Hey, come get me out. Cassie speaks up. We don't have time. Come on.
All right, he's gonna just toss the pieces on the ground and just try to pull on everybody's handcuffs with his bare hands.
Who are you pulling first?
Gerry.
Gerry? Okay. I would say as you begin the process of doing this, I need, you know what, Sonny? Mr. Ian? Can you give me on this table here, or on our table here, do they have percentage dice?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, give me a percentage roll, please.
93.
Lance begins, as he walks over to Gerry and begins to bend the restraints over the metal bar. So Gerry's sitting there as Lance is directly above her, his chest right in her face. He smells pretty good. Even
After all
sweat.
this,
Got that
Sweat,
manly
blood.
smell. Yeah.
It's
Way
that musk.
better than anything else she smelled.
And at first, Jerry's sense of smell is the thing that hits her. She does that thing where her eyes close, like, whoa, like, it's an overwhelming, good sensation. And then it turns to a different emotion as she hears a familiar roar of something she hasn't heard in a very, very long time outside of this truck trailer. A Yaowai can be heard attacking the outside of the container. There are screams, bullets flying. The container seems to fucking take off as the Brahmin who are pulling this decide we're gonna live. We're not gonna get eaten. And hightail it. So everyone who's not restrained, aka Lance. Agility, survival, please. DC of 2.
for the story, I think it's funnier if I just do this. Yep, nope, no successes.
Lance is forced face down on top of Gerry as the truck trailer takes off.
I'm sorry, Xavier. Gerry flips out. Cannot control herself. Starts pulling on her restraints to the point where it would make her wrists and hands start bleeding. Maybe even skin starts peeling. Like, is really trying to get her restraints off, and then starts kicking at Lance because now she's restrained and she's being held down. She's kicking at Lance and she's pulling at her wrists and probably screaming.
All this is happening as the container is taking off and moving. Within a few, I would say 10, 15 seconds, the sounds of the Yaowai are now at the doors, but way, way further back, as if you're moving away from the sound. The sound of men screaming is also way, way in the back. Bullets firing. And then it dawns on everyone in the container as it's moving. You're moving away from the raiders. You're moving away from the conflict. And then it dawns on you that there's no one driving the damn container. 2 wild Brahmin are essentially the drivers of this large metal container. moving at an unknown speed or unknown pace to an unknown location at a very fast pace. A minute, 2 minutes pass as the container continues to jostle everyone inside, kind of trying to figure out what to do next. And suddenly, it's almost as if all motion stops, and you hear two loud animals, kind of almost like the Dee Dee sound. I would say Sunny knows this sound. This is when Dee Dee has to get like a bath or something. It's a sound of like anger and fear from a Brahmin, and you hear snaps, like ribbons or strap just ripping, instantly snapping. The container begins to move. The side with bear dips, almost as if the road you're on is uneven now, and then holds, but then moves up, and then dips again slightly. And moves up again, and dips a little lower. Everybody in the container realizes at the same time. The Brahmin went over a cliff. Their weight snapping, the harness is connected into this container. You are now inside of a container that is teetering on the edge of some sort of cliff. And you have no way out of those doors.
Get to the back. Lance, get to the back.
Lance doesn't need to be told to. He's going to the back. Everybody with me?
You have 3 rounds before this thing goes over the edge. And Gerry, because of your description of how angry and ready to get the hell, like the emotion that overtook you, your restraints are damaged, and you're able to slip your bloodied wrists out of, I would say, one side and then pushing the other. So you are free as well. The order will be Lance, Gerry, Sunny, and then this is the NPC. They're the end of the round. So you can use your turn to give them orders at the end, and they will follow through at the end, or on their turn, I should say. Lance, what are you doing?
Lance just tries to... I don't know if kick... Yeah, he tries to kick the door open. Uses his body mass, like his shoulder. He tries to shoulder check the doors. Well, we'll see what that does to the balance of the whole wagon. But we'll see.
Let's do strength unarmed for this one, because you are using your shoulder to make an attack.
Cool. So that's still a... Oh, that's a 14 now.
DC of 2.
Do we want to live? Do we want an action point? Or do we want to save people and keep that action point?
Oh, that's a good point. Well, how much luck do you have? Well, here.
I got 2 luck left. Yeah,
got 2
this
left.
might be all my luck.
Use the action point because you might generate some action points.
Okay.
Generate. It's been used.
So DC 14.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's 4 successes because of my tag skill is 4.
2 action points generated. You shoulder bash this door, and it gives way. Opens up. The sunlight hitting you now. You're like, your eyes adjust for the first time. You have pretty good vision. You know, you're like almost like a genetically engineered human being.
I do have glasses. They're probably
Are they functional or style?
Yeah, probably not. Probably style.
Lance, as you shoulder bash the door open, you go falling out of the container.
Oh, no.
Okay. But like not like on your ass, you kind of just like fall out on your legs. And what catches your attention is the sound of creaking steel as you turn around and see that your weight leaving the container has caused it to kind of dip slightly towards falling off this not huge cliff, but a cliff nonetheless. That's Lance's turn.
Sounds like a complication, but okay.
It is a feature of this scene. Gerry, you're free.
Okay, quickly, she'll say, everyone, move this way, and then go to try to free Sunny.
So your action is to tell them that, but you can move towards Sunny. That's fine. That'll work.
Okay.
You move towards Sunny. They all kind of hear you and agree to move. The container moves kind of down, then stabilizes slightly as you move. Sunny, what are you doing?
I'll try and get out. Everyone seems to be getting out of their shackles, so... Oh, can I spend a point of luck? Can I spend a point of luck and just get out?
This one is a little expensive because it's like you're trying to break out of it. I would say 2, but you got to tell me why. What's wrong with your cuffs? What's wrong with these restraints?
Or they're not cuffs, right? Are they like...
They're like think about like a rectangle, like a stockade, right? But only for hands.
Okay.
It's only for wrists.
Got it.
Like a stockade for wrists.
What about this? Instead of the restraints, the pipe has actually torqued off the thing, so Sunny can slip the stockade off the pipe. He's still like got his hands tied, but he can like pull it off of the pipe that was attached to the truck.
Okay, so you gotta do the sliding thing where you can slide up and then you're free.
Yeah, and just because this is exciting, like it's towards the driver's side of the truck, so he has to lean his weight like in the wrong direction, and it just like creaks a little bit, but yeah, he gets it off.
Oh my god, I love that, dude.
Tension.
Sonny sees the where Lance was. He has damaged the pipe or damaged the metal rod that stretches along the wall of this container in a way that there's a slight opening. And Sonny sees this as Gerry comes up to try and help him, and he begins to kind of squat run to the end of there and snaps the pole more so that he can get free with his restraints still in front of him. So he's just got his restraints in front of him, but he has free range of motion with his arms. And the container does kind of creak a little lower. I would say when you do that, Bear kind of like panics.
I turn to Gerry and I just say, "What do you need me to do to get these people out of here?"
We need to get them out of these cuffs.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do that. I'd like to flavor it too, because I don't have the dexterity with my hands. He's just like taking the stockade in his hands and just bashing like a point to like get it to break.
Snap open.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is strength.
But I'd
then.
still like it to be lockpick if it can. maybe strength lockpick.
Strength lockpick. Yeah,
lockpick.
let's do it. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Strength lockpick. You're
Perfect sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
DC 2.
Well, my strength is 0, so and my lockpick is 2, so I have to hit.
You have 2 action points.
I'm gonna spend 1 action point to try and do this. It's not gonna work, but that's.
Wait. Before you roll, whose locks are you picking?
He would go to whoever is closest to him, and if that's Bear across from him, then that's what he'll do.
All right.
Okay, so I have to get a 1 or a 2. Okay, here we go. Nope, none.
Sonny hits Bear's restraints with his. There is some visible damage on the restraints, but then nothing happens. It's when you look at this, Sonny, and you see Bear and his restraints just go.
You could have said something.
He makes his hands. I just realized no one's gonna see this. He makes his hands into the extended palms, fingers flattened.
He slips out. He slips out of his.
Slips out of his restraints after Sonny fails, and he just gives Sonny this look of like, not bewilderment, but more of like, I'm sorry, like forgiveness.
Get out of here! Help me with what's his name? Eugene Merle.
Emmett.
I just look at him like I give him like a why I oughta, and I'm like, help me with Emmett.
He nods emphatically. So you have given them essentially 2 orders, Ian, because you're not supposed to give them orders.
I'm
in
sorry.
action.
I'm sorry.
But that's okay.
It's all
no.
flavor.
It works.
It's just
yeah.
It's flavor orders.
It works. So Emmett and Cassie go to the opposite end. They go to the end. They slide their restraints on the bar to the very end. They go as far as they can. The truck levels out, but the minute somebody leaves, it's gonna do it again. It's gonna begin to teeter again. Yeah, Bear's gonna try and unlock Emmett. He begins. He looks at Gerry, but that's the end of their turn. We have now 2 rounds before this bitch goes over the edge. Lance, you're up first.
Back in the wagon, I'm gonna like hold the top of it and kind of like jump in with my feet at the edge of it and yank it back and like try to be as heavy as I can and give as much leverage on the other side as I can.
The container like started doing a little wobbly, but as you jump, hold steady.
Get those restraints off, but like it's not an order, it's just flavor text.
Generality, yeah.
Flavor order.
Flavor order.
Gerry goes to Emmett.
Right, so you're there with Bear then.
Yeah. And then minor action, just for, just to be cool, a switchblade comes out of nowhere.
Sick.
In front of everyone. And she uses that to pick the lock.
All right.
That's dope as hell.
It's just one fluid motion too, like just whoosh. switchblade.
Like into your fingers, you do like a quick trick, and then it's like in your palm.
Oh,
Like,
yes. Yeah, spin it around all her fingers. And
Perception, lockpick, DC of 1 because you have a tool.
that is 10, and it's attack skill.
Expertly. 3 turns in a fluid, quick succession motion. Emmett rubs his wrist. Oh, thank God. And then he gets up, forgetting about his leg. Oh, shit! And sits back down.
Just flavor. This isn't an order. Just get the fuck out.
Roll out.
say that. Do what you, Emmett. You do what you want. Get the fuck out.
Sonny, you're up.
Sonny realizes he's not going to be too much help with lockpicking at all, so he just looks at Gerry and says, "I got Emmett," and he's going to pick up Emmett and try and help him get out of the van with his bum leg.
Sonny tries to pick up Emmett.
Not pick him up, but like, you know, get under his arm and like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not picking him up. No.
Bridal
I'm
style.
like helping him up and like put his arm over Sonny's shoulder and like help him get, you know, like support him so he's not on his bum leg.
Easy enough. You spend your action kind of supporting him. It is the NPC's turn. The order to get out, Bear's gonna listen, but then he's gonna stop at Cassie, who's like looking up at him. Her restraints are still there, and he looks to the group and then quickly jumps onto the Cassie's restraints, trying to use the device which he held in his he stowed away, which was a kind of like a school compass, you know, the one with the little pointy thing at the end of it.
Oh yeah, the drawing compass.
Yeah, drawing compass, thank you. That is a crit, and we respect the crit.
Yeah!
Maybe he saw how Gerry did it. Maybe he learned, but he just...
No one can do it like Gerry.
And her restraints open long ways. She jumps off immediately, and there's a little less weight. And now the tilt is the wheels are coming off the ground, and Gerry and Lance is Captain America holding the trailer from falling over. This is the last round. First one, Lance. What are you doing?
Well, I'll delay. He's still get out.
Delaying. Okay, fine. You can do that. Gerry?
Jerry's right behind Bear. Can she push him and go out?
Yes.
She does that. She pushes Bear out, and then Jer jumps out.
Gerry, Sonny, Cassie, Emmett are no longer in the wagon. Bear's also outside.
Yeah.
Lance!
He'll give one last look at the inside of this thing, with the daylight shining in. Just a quick last look, see if there's anything they missed, if their stuff was in there. Just an image to have in the back of his mind when he sees these assholes again. Like, just in case there's a last minute info that he could scrunch.
Perfectly fine. This is the end of the scene as Lance, holding on and putting his weight on the top of this container for dear life, sees essentially Gerry and Bear, the last ones to kind of leave the container, just hop out, face first into the ground. Jerry is on top of Bear's back, and he just he looks down, then looks back inside the tractor trailer as it begins to lift up. The sunlight now hitting it at a particular angle to where Lance can see the walls on the inside of the container. Messages of please kill us, or please save us, kill me. There is no hope. Things of that nature. Mentioning of names, tell Ralph I love him. Things like that scattered and scrawled throughout this entire container as the walls, which you previously believed to be brown, and as in oxidized or rusted metal, are actually brown because of the dried blood that has been used to write these messages across the entire interior of this tractor trailer as Lance pushes himself off, letting go, and the trailer goes over this cliff, careening over the side and crashing into what appears to be some sort of motel down at the bottom of this, I would say, not super tall, but, you know, kind of steep hill as it crashes down into the pavement, or the remnants of pavement and concrete, and then flops once onto the side of this large abandoned motel structure that collapses upon itself. Dust, debris flying outwards, the loudest sound anyone can hear within miles being echoed throughout the emptiness of this portion of the Evergreen.
As Lance looks at the edge of that cliff, at the smoke and dust dissipating, he says really low to himself, I gotta help everyone.
As Lance and Sunny both look over the edge, they see the remnants of two now squished Brahmin splatted across the side as the tractor trailer hit them on impact and then hit the motel structure nearby. They also see something a little bit further down in the distance, further back from this motel and maybe a couple blocks further down. A church with walls structured around it, and they can distinctly hear the humming of turrets. As they can see in the distance, at the top of some of these walls are these tiny turrets pulsating and moving as if on guard, active. There's some signs of life, some smoke signals coming out of there. It looks like a settlement. A small settlement, but a settlement nonetheless in the distance. As the party catches their breath, I'd say Gerry hears it first. It's a very familiar sound, a roar again of something low rumbling, walking down the street as this Yaogwai slowly trudges down the road towards you. It's a long ways away, but it definitely spots something in the horizon, stops, sniffs the air, looks down towards you. It twitches its head to the right as if something hits it. Half a second later, the sound of a bullet or a gun firing, and then it turns its attention into the woods or the section of destroyed homes nearby, and roars and lunges into the structure. It is very distracted currently, and it is way, way down the road. What would you guys like to do?
I hold out the restraints on my hand to Gerry and say,
Can you help me get this off?
Gerry did not look away from the Yaogwai. That's all she has been looking at. So then hearing Sunny's voice kind of just snaps her out of it, and just instantly, without even thinking about it, just pops. She probably knows where to pop it now. There's probably a thing, just pops it off. The restraints still kind of looking down the street to where this creature is. And Sunny probably notices Gerry's hands are shaking.
Hey, remind me when we get out of this and we get back home, we gotta find something else to call you, because I think you've outgrown intern already, you know what I'm saying? Maybe even a paycheck in it for you. Not a great one, mind you. But what do you think of assistant to the store manager?
Gerry will then notice her own hands shaking and rub them on her thighs and I guess it's better than not being paid.
Yeah, well, you've earned it. Don't tell Lance.
and he winks.
Emmett will be on the ground nearby. Hey, kind of need a doctor.
As soon as Emmett speaks up, Lance gets from the side of the cliff as fast as he can. All right, Emmett, lay still. I'm a doctor, funny enough, but we might want to get to safety before I can do a lot for you. But for now, I'm just gonna make it so that your injury doesn't get worse.
No, he just tilts his head. What do you mean? What do you...
Trust me.
He kind of he frowns a little. Oh, okay.
And
is this guy in any position to be questioning getting medical treatment?
He expects a certain degree of comfort, and he's not getting it. But
I mean, I'd show you the lab coat I had in my starting equipment, but I don't have it with me anymore.
Let's say this. Go ahead and do your doctor thing. So describe to me what's going on here.
I want to find branches or planks, anything, rebars that are on the ground, anything to make some sort of, I forget what the English word
Splint.
is for that. Splint, thank you.
Splint, yeah, splint.
My personal medical opinion is that the leg's probably lost. Like 3 days like this, they're dangling. But what do I know? But I want to like avoid it from getting worse or getting infected. So I kind of just want to put pressure on. I don't know. I'll do the check, and I won't do any of the medical talk because it won't be accurate.
You know what? You had me when you said splint, and that's as much as I need to hear.
What I want, I just mechanically, I want to treat an injury, and like what it does is that it like stops it from hindering him until he gets properly treated.
Int plus medicine. I agree with you wholeheartedly on this one.
Okay.
Difficulty 1 because it's only one. It's only one injury.
Probably set it so it's not an L shape anymore.
What letter would you like your leg to be in?
Lowercase L, please.
So intelligence plus medicine will be 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, so that's 3 successes.
2 more action points. You guys have 4. You move it into place. He screams in pain. He can stand up at least for now. He needs help, but he can stand up. And the injury has been treated.
All right, it's good that you're screaming. That means everything's working.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
No problem.
Look, I think there's a settlement nearby. And he looks off the cliff. That's St. Mark's. It's a good place. Good people. I think they can... they'll take us in. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah, that's great. We gotta go down the road a little bit first. Get our stuff back.
No need. He looks over he kind of hobbles to the edge. He's like, you. And Bear walks over and he uses Bear as a crutch. One of those Brahmin, there's all their stuff. Your stuff. It's down there.
All right, thanks, Emmett.
Go ahead and we'll wait up here and...
He twists his head, stuttering slowly towards you. Let me guess. You were a comedian before all this?
I'll have you know, people find me very funny.
He looks at Bear, and Bear nods. Yeah, give me like 5 minutes. Almost as if Bear transforms into somebody else entirely. He he scales down this cliff. Easily.
Gerry wouldn't let him go by himself because her stuff's down there. She doesn't trust other people with her stuff.
Okay, so she wants to scale this cliff as well then.
Yeah.
Hey, Gerry, and he looks at your hands. Do you want me to take a look at those? Because you mentioned you were like bleeding from getting out of the thing, but Lance is hesitant because of what happened, and he kind of sheepishly asks, "Are you okay with those?"
And she sees Bear going to the edge, and she's like, "Let me get your med kit first." And then she's wearing like fingerless gloves and stuff, so she'll just like almost rip off a piece of her own clothing and like wrap it up and then start scaling down too.
This is going to be difficulty 0 check. No rolls necessary. I'm not going to do that to you after you just survived the fucking tractor trailer almost going over the edge. If you want to roll, you can, but again, keep in mind you can generate complications as well as action points on this roll if you'd like.
I'll just go with it because I got a 0 in athletics, but I guess 7 in agility. So.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Bear has a head start on you. It's clear that he is much quicker than you when it comes to this kind of stuff, which is unusual. You're not used to this. He kind of sees you coming down, and he just continues climbing down, looking for the holes, eventually getting to the bottom and wiping his hands. Oof. And then he sees you come down. You're pretty good at that.
He's been radiating like shady vibes to her. So that's where she's coming from when she does this. Just walks past him, sure, and then goes to her stuff.
And just follows her to the deceased Brahmin, which Gerry can easily identify as the one carrying the stuff.
It's their meat cute.
Chip it.
The packs are strewn across the side. Things are kind of, scattered about. A lot of the personal bags that you guys had are now covered in Brahmin blood. But the gear is fine. Your equipment's fine. Did you get all your stuff?
Yep.
And then he looks back up at the cliff.
Is there rope?
Yeah. And he kind of goes through his little bag and he's got some rope. Yeah, I got some rope.
Okay, so in her mind, Gerry begrudgingly admits that he was better at climbing, but she won't say it out loud. You go up, then I'll watch the stuff.
He nods. He gets the rope and begins to climb with the rope, leaving one end on the bottom. Hands the bag to each person. So he gives Emmett his large bag with his hunting rifle, and he goes, "Oh, God, Emmett, what do you have in here?" "My stuff. Don't worry about it. You guys have a safe path down. However, it's going to be very difficult with Emmett. He's going to have to cling on to someone's back, and I'm assuming it's probably going to be Lance's back.
I'll do it.
It is a very difficult task, but Lance, being strong enough, can do it. The whole time, however, Emmett is just, oh God, oh Jesus. Oh, please, 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 please. Oh, fuck. Ugh. Okay. Don't look down. Shit, I looked down. Ugh.
Hey, you okay back there?
Yeah. Just keep going, big guy. Just don't stop. Oh, fuck. Cassie looks at Sunny, and she motions. Beauty first. Kind of smiling.
Oh, thank you so much. Flattery will get you everywhere.
The group hikes on, now with an injured older man, a young, I guess you'd call him Sneak, similar to Gerry in almost every facet except for the clothes he wears, where he wears a lot of light layers, and Cassie, who is a scavenger. You approach the settlement, which is called, by Emmett's account, St. Mark's. There are turrets, as mentioned before, along these large walls built from what appears to be steel doors, metal sheets, wooden poles every now and then. A ghoul guard from atop a crudely built watchtower sees you. Whoa, ha, hey, that's a lot of folk. That guy's whole leg is fucked up.
Yeah, we need some help. Had some run-in with the crows.
Okay, yep, that sounds good. Hey, the guy, you hear like a.
I give him like a solidarity fist.
He kind of like raises an eyebrow and just, or what is where his eyebrow would be.
Yeah, there's no eyebrows.
Kind of just like nods, just like sure. You hear a latch come undone, and then you see this door kind of, this large gate open outwards. On your left side is the large cathedral, still intact, that says St. Mark's Cathedral. There is a small, what would have been a parking lot in pre-war times, now has numerous sheds and tents all kind of huddled together, constructing what looks like this sort of plaza. Beyond the church is a large stone cliff with more trees at the top, and a turret and what look like wooden walkways going from one tree to another, making a small kind of Robin Hood-esque walkway and canopy to oversee that area as well. St. Mark's seems peaceful, seems very quiet. There are people walking by. As you mosey in, the gate closes behind you. Emmett points to this steel structure in the plaza. We can rest there.
Emmett, is this where you're from?
I've stopped here a few times. I'd say it's. I'm familiar with the place. I'm not from here originally.
Oh yeah, where are you from originally? I'm from Puyallup myself.
You ever been to New Vegas?
No, but I've heard about it. Love to go sometime.
It's overrated. Real money's out here. As you continue to walk and this conversation continues, Emmett just kind of opens this door. This red wooden door opens up. It's a home. It's a domicile of some kind. Pretty large in scope. One central room. There seems to be an offshoot for an outhouse. And then there's like this makeshift kitchen area and storage on the other opposite end. There is a badly damaged sofa. There's a crudely put together coffee table made from cement blocks and wood planks. There is a bed which looks like nobody should sleep in it. It does not look comfortable. And then there are two chairs on opposite ends of the room. And Emmett kind of pats Lance on the back. Yeah, sit anywhere you want. And hobbles over to the bed and just lays down. Wow. Bear looks inside. I'll wait outside. Emmett. Yeah, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Bear. Cassandra sits on the couch.
Emmett, where are we?
Oh, this is one of my safe houses. This group I work for, they're pretty good about getting me places to stay. At least here in the Evergreen.
You mentioned New Vegas. This group you're working for, it's not the NCR, is it?
He laughs. Oh, hell no. No way. They hate what I do. He looks at the group. I mean, you all seem like you're not Brotherhood, so I think I can tell you.
We're definitely not Brotherhood.
I spit on the ground.
Oh, great.
He does.
Yeah,
He does that.
it's fine.
Fuck those fascists. Puh.
That's right.
Puh, Sonny,
But, you know, honestly, I don't really care about the morality issue about them or the group I work for. You guys seem like good folk. You saved my life. The most I could do is offer you truth. I work for the cause.
I see.
They're a good bunch. They pay me well. But I got snatched up doing what they were paying me to do. And luckily for me, they don't know that. They think I'm still working. So, hey, this safe house is still safe. And he does the air quotes.
You ever run into a kid named Mark or Marcos?
His friendly demeanor kind of shifts. Name sounds familiar.
We're looking for him. He was doing something undercover in First Hill and got mixed up with a resident's daughter there. They sort of eloped together. We're trying to track them down.
He nods while sitting in his bed. Very quickly, I'd say Gerry sees this first. You see his eyes go towards the outhouse, then back to you. Really? Any leads?
Well,
No, not at all.
Sonny just looks at Lance.
That's too bad. Well, looks at the outhouse again. Hope you find him.
You know, Emmett, my medical opinion is that you probably should be heading out to the infirmary or whatever medical clinic they have here. I did what I could, but it won't fix it.
Yeah. I'll get right on that. As soon as I know you guys are well on your way to somewhere safe.
you got real cold all of a sudden, real fast. This has something to do about Mark?
No, I just, I'm just beat. Just a little tired is all. It's been a long road, and it's not often that I get put up to death and then saved, It's not something I'm used to.
Speaking of which, it's a miracle I managed to hold it in all this time, but I think I can use your outhouse.
Yeah. Sure.
Gerry holds up her bloody fingers. Doc, can you take a look at these two?
Yeah.
You two go into the section of this domicile, which is the outhouse. Pretty large, pretty big section. It's an outhouse, and then you'll see now that as you walk in, on your left, there's a door leading to what you assume is some sort of closet, and on the right is the door leading to an outhouse. But there's also a section of wall, so you can go in there and hide from visibility. You can be obscured from what's going on in the living area here. And in the living area, Cassandra is on the couch, kind of just has her feet up and she's closing her eyes, not paying attention to the situation. And Emmett looks at Sonny. Sonny, right? That's what it was, Sonny.
Sonny Takasi, Sonny Sundries.
I really like you, Sonny. So I want to tell you, I'm going to do you a favor, actually. Your friends are probably in there and they're going to find my guns. Probably take them a couple minutes to find the good ones. But before that happens, and he's going to pull the hunting rifle and have it in his lap, and it's going to be squarely aimed at you. I'm pretty sure I can turn you to Swiss cheese. So, here's what I want you to do. I want you to call for your friends and tell them to come back out here. Can you do that for me, Sonny?
Yeah, I can, but just so you know, we're not after any guns or anything. That's not what we're here for.
No, he interrupts you. I know what you're after. You just told me. You're after Marcos.
No. We're after V. It's a girl that's with him.
Okay. See, I didn't get that far.
Yeah, well, you stick with me, you'll catch up.
I don't like that tone. And then he's gonna cock the bolt into the hunting rifle. Either way, you're after my quarry. I don't know who hired you. I don't care. You have me at a disadvantage right now, so I need you to call your friends and tell them to come in here, please.
What are you gonna do after that?
If you listen to me, if all of you listen to me, nothing. You can go free. And if you don't listen, oh, let's just say I'm gonna have to re-up on bullets.
Sonny is gonna try and just like buy as much time as he can with this before he does any calling for friends.
This would be charisma speech difficulty 3 because of your throat.
Okay. Oh, difficulty 3?
Yes.
We have so
And
many action
you have
points.
4. You have 4 action points.
Spend them.
I'm gonna try and get 2 more dice, so I'll spend 3 action points. That's correct?
Yep.
Okay.
1 left. 1 action point left.
That's gonna be 13. Here we go. That's 3 successes. Yeah, I did get 1 critical success.
Sonny, your ruse. He falls for your trap flawlessly as you continue to question him.
I didn't know that the cause sort of went after their own. I figured they'd be losing soldiers that way, thin their numbers against the Brotherhood. That doesn't seem smart to me.
He falls for hook, line, and sinker. Look, I don't give a shit about them. I just want my paycheck. And I wasn't hired by the cause directly. I got hired by a fixer, some woman from Union. Why am I even telling you this? What the fuck?
I got one of those faces. What can I say?
I've still got my hands up and everything.
Yeah. And we're gonna cut to the two of you in the outhouse area. What are you doing?
He was just curious. So there was something fishy about the outhouse. So
Gerry immediately starts looking around and then, looking for whatever he kept glancing over at. Would any of their conversation be picked up out here?
You just hear muffling. You hear like... As you look in the direction where he was looking, it's like a corner between this closet door and a wall. I would say instinctively you just look and you see it's like... There's something funny about the color of the wall. The wood is one grain kind of, and then the other one is... It looks familiar. It's a familiar pattern like a striation of pattern. One part of this wall is built, or at least the lumber is from the trees of Paradise Valley. The patterns which you stared at for hours and hours on end as a kid, imagining that they were like continents or different worlds, different shapes. And that's when you see there's a small space in between the wall.
So first, I just want to get this out. This joke that I immediately thought of, old school animation where, you look at the background and there's clearly...
Yes, that was a different shade, yeah.
And it's the object, it's a prop, you can tell because it's colored differently.
Yeah. It's much brighter because it's on a higher cell.
It's the only animated part of that. But then Gerry, seeing this very familiar wood, just like lifts her hand, like without even thinking about it, towards it. This is what she thinks of as home. Puts her hand out and like goes to touch it and then sees the gap and then puts her fingers between that and tries to open the gap.
The wood opens easily. There are hidden hinges behind it and it just slides quietly open. We're talking about like maybe 1.5 to 2 feet slab of wood as it slides open. Gerry looks in. These lights flicker on. It's a very narrow hallway, or room I should say, sorry. And lining the room are racks and racks of weapons. There's a shotgun, there's some pistols, there's boxes of ammunition, and at the very end there's like this machine. It looks really familiar. It doesn't hit you at first, but Lance recognizes this weapon, this device. Lance recognizes it as a Pip-Boy. As a matter of fact, it's one that's been issued to probably someone he knew in a different rack group. And as you both enter this tiny room, Lance, I would say, just instinctively pushes past Gerry, disregarding her completely, grabs the Pip-Boy, holds it in his hand, flips it upside down, and there's just a smattering of dried blood along the inside armrest.
I guess some things never change.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Respect the Crit's Wasteland Adventure, Fallout Evergreen. If you like what you heard, please consider supporting us by giving us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, or whatever platform you use to listen. It's easy, free, helps other people learn about the show, and we love to read your feedback. For more information about the show, visit @RespectTheCrit on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or come chat with us in our official Discord server. Gerry is played by Susan Spenader, who you can find on Instagram @SuzLalouz. Lance Burnett is played by Xavier Trudeau-Deschênes, who can be found on Twitter @XavierTD. Sunny Takase is played by me, your host, Ian Duncan, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram @idunks. Our guest GM for this game is Alex Herrera, who you can find on Twitter @AEHerrera or on his Twitch channel, WadeWolf10. The original music in this episode is provided with license or permission by a variety of talented artists whose info and credits can be found in the episode notes. Please support them by visiting their platforms to hear more of their work and tell them how much you like their music in our show. Our outro song is Some Things Never Change by Gavin Dunn. You can hear more of his work on Bandcamp and YouTube at Miracle of Sound. The Fallout 2D20 RPG system is licensed by Bethesda and published by Modiphius Entertainment. Special thanks to our friends at Modiphius for donating prizes to our giveaways for this campaign. You can learn more and grab your own copy of the official Fallout RPG by visiting modiphius.net/respectthecrit. Special thanks to the team at Fallout Cascadia for use of their music. You can learn more about this incredible, ambitious Fallout 4 mod at falloutcascadia.com. And remember, whatever the system, whether it's a miss or a hit, you always gotta respect the crit. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the wasteland.
Hold on one second. Sam is rummaging through the fridge.
Sam, the tension is so high right now.
We say scavenging around these parts.
They're saying,
Scavenging,
keep
yeah.
doing what you're doing, Sam. Keep it up. She gets some candy. She said bye.
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 Bye, Sam.
They say bye. She said bye. Okay.
I love these interactions.
Yeah.
Yeah.